welcome to the Feel Good Factor, episode 5. My name is Tracy Hardwick. Very pleased that you could join us today, and I'm very excited because I have my friend Dr. Stephen Phillips, who I've invited on the show to talk about something that we all pretty much suffer with, addictions. So whether that be to caffeine or chocolate or food, alcohol, cigarettes, drugs, work. So we are going to talk about ways to beat addiction. So it's a very positive and powerful episode today, so stay tuned. And also, if you've got any ideas for me for the Feel Good Factor, any episodes you'd like me to cover, leave me a little message. After you're subscribed, you can leave a little message in the YouTube comments, or you can email me, Tracy, Tracy, at tshdrama.com, tshdrama.com. Okay, so without further ado, let's get on with the interview. And here we have my friend Stephen, who has come to join us, and I just want to say thank you very much for coming to talk to us today.
Thanks for having me, Tracy.
My pleasure. So we're talking about addictions, and I wanted to know what do you feel would be the best advice if someone is suffering from a food addiction, alcohol addiction, obviously heroin, ice. How can they be helped?
I guess we're all addicted to something.
Yeah.
And it's the choice then comes to what those things are doing to you.
Mm-hmm.
So disruptive substances that are causing us harm, they're going to be things that we take today, and the prognosis of our life, we end up with more disease, or we lose our money, or we lose our relationships. So most things, whether it be gambling, whether it's shopping on eBay, these sort of things are destructive if they're taken to excess.
Mm-hmm.
So the whole point is, why do we do it anyway?
Yeah.
Why do we do anything?
Yeah.
So the big question is really, what are we trying to get from these things outside of ourselves?
Okay. Yeah. And your work that you're currently doing it's body-based, would you say?
I use what I call somatic acupuncture.
Okay.
I've had Japanese and Chinese and Korean teachers,
Yeah.
and I've sort of amalgamated what they've taught me.
Okay.
And basically, because I'm also a Buddhist teacher,
Yeah.
the Buddhist philosophy is that we're all trying to avoid pain.
Yes.
So most addictions come from our unhappiness.
Yeah.
So when we're unhappy, when we don't feel connected and loved,
Mm-hmm.
then we're more vulnerable to addictions.
Mm-hmm.
So
Great.
connection is the key. And so through therapy, what I do with people is I teach them about the connection to self. I have a strong connection with them as a support person, and then I encourage them to connect to their friends, family, environment, because one of the things about addictions is they can be very isolating, and they're most damaging when they're isolating.
Okay, great.
Could it be? No, we can see that there's another one where our loved ones go. I think so.
So we're talking about alcohol and addiction, alcohol addiction, and Jason Bale's book, Kick the Drink Easily, completely changed my relationship with alcohol. I'm really intrigued about your story because you used to be surrounded by alcohol all the time. How long has it been, Stephen, since you've had a drink?
Well, to be completely honest, 24 years ago I gave up alcohol because I didn't want it.
Yeah.
And about 15 years ago, I had a best friend getting married,
Yeah.
and he said, it's not the same if you don't come and drink
Yeah.
on the Bucks party.
Yes.
So we went out for a Bucks party,
Yeah.
and I drank vodka with him for the night.
Okay.
And it was really strange because it had no effect on me. And
Are you sure it was vodka?
yeah, maybe it was water. But just my body just didn't seem to notice that it was there. It was very strange.
Wow.
But I never drank since then. So I've had one night of drink in 24 years.
Okay. And how do you find when you go out to events? I mean, this is, I think, the biggest thing for viewers when they want to give up alcohol is the pressure that we're all under to drink. And how would you say, in a nutshell, how did you cope with that?
That's just such a fabulous question, because what it does is it cuts right to the heart of our need for love and approval.
Yeah.
You know, we really want to fit in. We really do not want that feeling of shame that we don't belong to the tribe.
Yeah.
And we will do anything to be part of that tribe, including drugs, alcohol, or even worse things.
Yes. Yes.
So the key is, once I stopped feeling that I needed that approval and hung out with people who, you know, I felt aligned to and that wouldn't put that on me, I can be in any environment. If people don't like the fact that I'm drinking, then I really wonder about their drinking problems. So I then have compassion for them and where they're at, because they're trying so hard to get me to fit into and reinforce what they do.
Absolutely. And when we were having a chat off camera, I was saying, you know, this amazing book, which I've quickly shared with you and showed to you as well. And in the power of the alcohol industry to brainwash us and to brainwash, I mean, I have a 15-year-old, as you know, and I'm appalled at the images that we're seeing all the time about alcohol, how cool it is, and you know, you're only cool if you're drinking, and then of course all the sugar-laced vodka drinks that they have at parties and things like that. So can you relay that story that you said about the expert being asked to talk?
Oh yes, this was only about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And one of the major commercial stations had a expert on who'd been researching the links between alcohol and cancer. And he said to the reporter that there is no safe level of alcohol consumption. And this led to recent times the AMA changing the safe levels of alcohol consumption in Australia. So they used to think you could have a few drinks if you were pregnant. Now they're saying 0. Now that's been the big change because of this research. And it's a very big study, it's very well researched. But when they were putting it onto the panel, there was another doctor and there was the researcher and the commentator. And so the commentator became disturbed. She said, "You mean I can't have my glass of wine at night?"
Yeah.
And before the researcher could answer, the doctor intervened and said, "Oh, 1 glass won't hurt you." And the researcher said, "You didn't hear me. Every ml of alcohol you take increases the risk of cancer. 1 in 4 breast cancers are directly attributable to alcohol consumption."
Yeah.
And the doctor said, "Yeah, but 1 glass is all right." And the researcher said, "Well, that's good. I can have my glass of wine. Thank you for coming on the show." You
So
know, why invite an expert?
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't allowed to actually be heard.
No.
Yeah. Well,
So there's a lot of, you know, people have invested interest in keeping us drinking.
And I'm just going to highlight some facts for you now from this amazing book.
One day there was a girl who was sad 'cause she lost her dad. That girl was me, you see. Then I realized he had not gone forever. He was deep inside my soul, inside my dreams. When you close your eyes, you can see the light. It is deep inside. So come on, close your eyes. You can see the light. It is deep inside. Which led me to ask that even though I couldn't actually.
So I have found when I've been dealing with addictions that for me, and this is why I'm so drawn to juicing and exercising and feeling good, it's anything to raise your energy to feel good. Because when you're feeling good, you don't need to reach for the chocolate, and you don't need to have a cigarette, and you don't need to have your alcohol, because you're being fulfilled in a natural way. So can we talk a little bit about how people that are watching this today, how they can, or you know, what actions they can do, because we're talking about alcohol, what actions can we do to stop drinking?
Yeah, look, one of the things about addiction is that juicing can become an addiction, right? So some people overjuice, some people over eat health food, some people over fast. thing is that it's about doing things that are good for you. So inducing, the initial stage is good for you, and then it becomes excess. The problem with most things like alcohol and drugs is the initial stage is still bad for you.
Yeah, so there's no really good stage.
So there's no good stage.
It feels good at the time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the key is like, how do I stop myself from doing these things?
Yeah.
And certainly putting yourself in a good positive framework.
Yeah.
Part of the good framework is feeling good about yourself and connecting to people. That will put you in a good space. The second thing is, how do I stop my cravings? That's the question. So what I say to people, most important is connection.
Yeah.
So if you're connected to someone and you're sharing your journey, you're talking about the difficulties you have with alcohol, these people can help you. Like most of the time I spend with people as being an anchor for them. They come into confessional. The problem is, if you confess to somebody who shames you for your behaviour and says, well, you said you weren't going to drink this week, and then Friday night you had a bender.
Yeah.
And people come to me and they've drunk on Friday night. I say to them, you did so well all week.
Yeah. Well
what
done.
happened? Let's bring some awareness to Friday night. What
Okay.
happened?
Okay.
Well, this happened during the week and I felt bad about this. And then Friday night I was with my friends and I just wanted to let go of all of the pain of the week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So we start exploring how they handle pain. We start exploring other things. And the trouble is, the first drink starts to shut down the prefrontal cortex. So you're inhibited at saying no to the second glass.
And we were also talking, if you want to lose weight, forget about having alcohol, because it takes away, what did you say it takes away?
Your ability to say no.
Oh, you will.
So if you sit down for dinner and you haven't had a glass of wine,
Yeah.
and they say, do you want dessert tonight? You'll probably say, oh, no, I won't have dessert.
Because
Or
I'm
I'll share
cutting back.
yours.
Yeah.
But have a glass of wine and dessert's back on the table, as well as the 300 calories in the glass.
Yeah, and it's so highly addictive. This is something I didn't realise. You know, in this book, it just points out like how highly addictive alcohol is.
Yeah, that's the thing about drugs and alcohol, is that the word addiction is a tricky one, because people think that there's a substance in there that actually has hooks and holds on to you. The fact is that it's only in contrast to the pain level you're in. My experience when I did a lot of meditation was, as the pain heals, then the pleasure aspect of doing something is not needed. You think about alcohol, heroin, cocaine, these sort of things are used for pain relief. We use opiates as pain relief. Diamorphin is a pain relief. So if we have a lot of pain, then these things feel really addictive because they're the opposite.
Okay.
But if we don't have a lot of pain, they're not so addictive. And there's been lots of studies that have shown that if people are in good environments with good connection, that they're not as addicted to these things. You go to hospital, you need diamorphin for a lot of pain, you come out and you don't crave it.
Okay. And for our viewers, we'd love to have some information as to where we can find you. If you're in the Sydney area, you're very lucky. And do you do Skype sessions as well?
Yeah, I do those
Great.
as well.
Okay,
So
lovely.
people can connect anywhere.
Okay. Great.
You can perhaps pass on the details of my
Absolutely.
websites.
Yeah, absolutely.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Thanks, Tracy.
So we have to have this wonderful experiment that you've just told me about. Please tell us about the rats.
So this is very popular at the moment. We're really looking at what addiction is. Addiction has not been what we thought it was. We thought the chemicals hooked into us in some special way that made us not able to resist them. It would seem that our levels of pain in our life make us more addictable. So they did this trial many years ago, which is the basis of our ideas about addiction, which was they put rats in a cage with 2 bottles of water, one containing heroin and one containing water. The rats had nothing to do, quite a painful location to be. They drank themselves to death on the heroin-laced water. So this is what we would expect. But many people contribute that the heroin was addictive, they couldn't stop. And in recent times, it's very well publicised at the moment particularly, that they tried to experiment when they built Rat Heaven. They built this beautiful cage, it's full of balls and other rats. The rats were running around, they were having sex, they were jumping around, they were climbing, there were things.
Lemonade on tap.
That's it, lots of colourful things. And of course they put the same 2 bottles in and the rats made a different choice. Wow. They chose the water because it was healthy and they left the heroin alone.
Yeah, because they had a full experience where they were.
So, the whole thing is that when we look at our lives, the question is not why people are addicted, but why they choose it in the first place. Why they go looking for something. And it's usually pain, it's shame, it's suffering, it's fear, it's something in their life. And another piece of research that's really interesting is a lot of people who've been sexually abused very young or have had very dysfunctional family relationships early don't develop in the same ways to be able to feel pleasure in their life. And they harbour a lot more pain in their body. This is when body work, we talk about releasing the pain from the bodies. So it's a matter of working to bring balance to your body and to bring, you know, that rat heaven to your home.
And ask for help. You know, seek help. You can't do it by yourself.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So we were just talking off camera. We'll come back on camera because we were talking about what about the people that have it all together, that have a lovely home, that their family, well, they have so much love in their family, and they have work, and they have lovely friends, and they're young and beautiful, and what happens, do you think, with that type of situation?
I can only talk about the people that I've met.
Okay.
The people I've met like that, generally highly intelligent, high achievers. You know, they're able to get a lot of the things that they desired in their life, and a lot of them get bored. And the other thing is that, you know, my experience is that if you move in that sort of crowd, that you're often at parties and things where these things are available. So first you're being offered, second you're a bit bored, and then you try it. And of course the inbuilt chemicals of these drugs mean that they increase your receptors for pleasure. You want more, and you never get that first hit again. So
and you
always
always seem to be
more.
Chasing that high, don't you?
So it's like people who sometimes have it all because they're chasing everything in life. They've already got this desire, and they're already highly intelligent, and then they don't realise it sneaks up from behind.
Okay. Thank you. So I'm about to do a 5-day cleanse. I'm going to be following the principles of Jason Vale's book. And I've done it a few times. It's a wonderful way of raising your energy. Summer's coming, lose a bit of weight. But really I do it because I really want to feel amazing. So this is a juice that I'm taking with me because I've got rehearsals this afternoon for 5-6 hours. So I'm going to make double the amount. And I'm also going to put some avocado in it because it just sustains me while I'm singing and dancing and acting. So here we go. This is what we're going to do. We're going to add some apples.
No, we can see that there's another world where our loved ones go. I think so. Could it be? No, we can see that there's another world where our loved ones go. I think so.
Some spinach. As you know, I just use what's in my fridge, and I didn't have any fresh spinach, but I do always buy the frozen spinach. So I've added 2 lumps of frozen spinach and the avocado, which is going to give me lots of energy for the afternoon and the evening. This is going to last me for 2 meals. And then of course, yes, you know I love this, Power Greens, the spirulina, lots of iron and wonderfulness in it. Okay, and then pour your juice. Now do remember, ladies and gentlemen, that there is a max line with your NutriBullet, and if you go over it, which I've done many times, you just cause a big mess, so don't. Alright, pop your lid on. Stick your Nutribullet on.
Though we can't see that there's another world where our loved ones go, I think so.
Okay, and there we have it. This wonderful green power liquid, which is going to cleanse you, or cleanse me, and make me feel amazing.